Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the opening day episode of your new favorite Braves podcast, the Chop Shop Podcast.
Yes,
I'm your
sir.
host TK, along with my co-host, Mr. Jermaine JP Powell.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's happening, brother?
Man, ready for some Braves baseball. It's about that time. Get the chop talk ready.
Oh yeah, man. We had a little scare during the off
Oh,
season.
yeah.
We didn't think baseball was gonna make it back as
Right.
fast as it did.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm personally glad that it did, bro. What about yourself?
Yeah, me too, man. It's glad to see America's pastime back. Football is very popular, but baseball is always going to be there. So, yeah, we glad to have it back.
Oh yeah. So before we get into everything Braves, folks, let me tell you, or let us tell you about not only about ourselves, but
Right.
what the Chop Shop podcast is about. So the way we're doing this is going to be a weekly podcast, and we will cover, the games of the previous week as well as preview the games of the following week. We'll have a lot of things going on. We'll have your players of the week, game of the week, plays of the week,
Mm-hmm.
home run of the week. Like we gonna have a lot to talk about because it's gonna be a weekly podcast versus a daily dose of Atlanta Braves baseball.
Right.
But we've with the season being as long as it is, and between family and things like that, we have to get it in where we can get it in. So that's basically what we are. We are a weekly Braves podcast that will cover the previous games, like I said, and preview the next games. So, with that being said, Mr. Jermaine, why don't you introduce yourself to the people? Tell them a little bit about you.
Yes, sir, TK. My name is Jermaine Powell. I go by JP, but man, this I've been a Braves fan. My family was a Braves fan all the way back from long as I can remember. We used to go to the old Fulton County Stadium, so that's the family team, and I've been with them ever since. So I mean, one thing I can talk about all day is Braves baseball, from the current to the past, everything. So I think y'all in for a treat because we got two lifelong Brave fans here that love the team. So y'all got to tune in every week.
Oh yeah, man. So I'll follow suit. I'm TK. I have been a Braves fan, man. Yeah, like Jermaine, probably as long as I can
Yeah.
remember, man. Like both of my grandfathers were Braves fans, and they die hard because I used to sit down on the couch with them when the
Oh
Braves
yeah.
only won 20 games, 30 games. You know, like
Yeah. They.
I was there with the Jeff Blouses and the Jeff
Oh
Treadways,
yeah.
Oda B.
Oh yeah.
McDowells, and you know from those days, and we turned the corner, 91, 92, somewhere up in there.
91.
Um,
Yeah.
like that, you know what? That's my first time ever placing a bet. I was in the eighth grade, and
Wow.
it was a Braves. I think the Braves twins maybe
Yeah.
in the World Series,
Yeah. It was. It was
and
Brazen
and
Twin. Yeah.
I bet $10 and lost my only little $10, man. But that's how long I've been with the Braves, man.
Right.
From Dale Murphy, to Hattiesburg's own Charlie Hayes,
Hey,
you
third
know,
baseman, man, way
third
back.
baseman Terry Pendleton, Ron Gant.
Oh yeah.
When we got Fred McGriff, man, I thought the world of Fred McGriff,
Oh yeah.
man.
Me too. I love Fred. Yeah.
When they broke up the Four Tops in San Diego, and he came, like I love Fred McGriff.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of love, man, who is your all-time favorite Brave?
I had a feeling you was gonna ask me that question, and I was trying to figure out all day how I was gonna answer it. But to be honest, I have a lot. But if I just had to pick one, it'd probably be Dale Murphy, because he was there that when I was old enough to really understand the game, and that's when I became hooked during the Dale Murphy stages. And like you said, that's before they were good. They were awful before then, but we still stayed up watching the West Coast games because remember back in those days, the Braves was in the West. They was in
Yeah.
the NL West. They wasn't in the East like they are now. So most of the opponents was on the West Coast. But yeah, if I had to pick one, it would be Dale Murphy with with Hank Aaron right behind him.
Yeah, like Dale is an all time great. I think he might be the second greatest Brave behind um Hank Aaron. Matter of
Oh yeah,
fact, I got a Hank Aaron tee on right now.
yeah,
Um, but for me, man, my favorite for some reason was always Ron Gant.
yeah.
Like I used to love his batting stance. Like the raised. Like
Yep.
I love for some reason that just drew me in. And I used to imitate Ron Gant when I played
Hmm.
little league baseball, and when we played in the neighborhoods or whatever. Like Ron Gant was always my favorite, man.
Yeah, that's a good
Even
pick.
to this day, man. With a close, I think a close second behind Ron Gant is probably Greg Maddux
Ooh, that's a good one too.
because
It's
he
so
was
many, man. It's hard to
yeah.
choose just one. It really is.
Greg was so dominant, man. Like he really didn't have a fastball, and you knew the circle change was coming, and you still
Couldn't do nothing
you
about
still
it.
couldn't do anything with it, man. So I really truly loved Greg Maddux.
Oh yeah.
But so folks, that's basically who we are in a nutshell. And as the season goes on, you guys will get to know us even more
Hmm.
on a personal level. But let's get into it, man.
I'm ready.
So with the new season starting, man, we've had some changes.
Oh yeah.
Probably the biggest change that I can remember uh last 10 years maybe.
Yep.
Probably since Chipper Jones retired.
Yeah.
Who was one of my favorites, by the way.
Yeah. Me too.
Him and Andrew. But all good things come to an end, man.
Mm.
And we starting things off by saying goodbye to a Braves legend, in my opinion, an all-time great. Um, One of the greatest guys you could ever see on the field, man. Mr. Freddie Freeman. Farewell to Freddie Freeman, man.
Mm.
Uh, he was here a long time. He put in work.
Yeah.
Um, and I hate he went to the Dodgers. I
Anybody?
wish he was
Yeah.
anywhere but the Dodgers or the Yankees. But baseball is a business.
Yep.
It's a rough business. It's harsh. You know, um, I really hate the fact that they couldn't work it out, man. It's because that's one of the things though, that you really wanted to see. You wanted to see him
Yeah.
retire as an Atlanta Brave, man. But it is what it is, man. What? Let me get your take on Freddie, man.
Man, it was a hard day with the whole Freddie thing to me because I felt like I kind of thought that something wasn't right when they couldn't get the contract together. They said it was going to wait to the off season, so it had me kind of nervous, thinking like, okay, they should be able to hammer this out. But the reason Freddie is so beloved in Atlanta, but not just Atlanta, but a lot of people admire and respect him. But Atlanta, they've been hit pretty hard right now because Matt Ryan, another longtime fixture, he's gone now. So, but Freddie, he was there during the rebuild years. If you remember those, that was the meat of his contract. He was doing the rebuild years where he could have opted to leave and go to a contender, but he stayed. He stayed and it paid off. He won at the end, but I was just a little disappointed that all this seemed to come over 1 year. He wanted a 6-year contract and the Braves were only willing to go 5. And at his age, he's 32 now. So, at the end of 6 years, he'll be at 38 and, skills decline. But I thought with the addition of the DL to both leagues, they could keep him around. I was a little disappointed in that. He ended up signing, what was it, 6 years, 160 plus million with the Dodgers. And, you know, just seemed like they could have did him a solid and gave him that extra year. But we just thank him for what he done, man, because Freddie was consistent. Anything you could say about him, had an MVP year, and then this year in the playoffs, we would not be there without him. So yeah, Freddie's an Atlanta legend.
Of course, man. And like you made a good point, man, talking about the lean years, man.
Oh yeah,
And he was there. And again, it's one of the things that you hate to see, but I do wish him, all the best. I hope and pray that he stays healthy.
Right.
and get to continue his career as dynamic as he was
Yes, sir.
with the Braves, man. Because I mean, you look at his numbers, and some of them landed him in the top 10 of all time Brave stats, like his defensive WAR and things like that.
Hmm.
But you look at his numbers, man. Uh, what 12 years?
Yep.
He had 5,767 at bats. He scored 969 runs, 1,700 hits, 1,704 to be exact, 941 RBIs,
Yeah.
walked 76 times, a career 295 hitter. Like dog, he really put in work for us. He had 271 home runs.
Yeah.
Ha,
But
has hats off to
But
Freddie.
even on top of the stats, TK, I mean, he was a class act. That's why it hurt a lot of the diehard Braves fans and everybody, because he was that one constant that you knew was going to be on the team. He always said and did the right things, and that's what made him leaving actually more just difficult for people to accept. And I mentioned earlier about Matt Ryan leaving. Actually, they both left in the same week, believe it or not. But he was kind of that same way with the Falcons and the fans. He may didn't have all the best performances on the field, but he always said and did the right things, on and off the field. So that was kind of, it was bittersweet and hard to go. But yeah, it's gonna be hard to see Freddie in that blue and white, man. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be real hard. I
Mm.
can't wait till he comes back to Atlanta, as a player. And I hope, and I don't think it'll be a problem. Whoever he's with, he's gonna get the biggest ovation of anybody in that
Oh
stadium,
yes. Oh yeah.
brave or not, and
Oh yeah.
it will be well deserved.
Yes, sir.
So, we say goodbye to Freddie.
Yeah.
Um, and with him leaving, there are people who came.
Hmm.
So we had some key offseason additions, man.
Very good off
Um,
season, actually.
yeah, very good. I think before a few days ago, I would say that all eyes on as far as additions go were on Matt Olson. The Braves traded for him from Oakland, um, right before they, unceremoniously let Freddie
Yeah.
Freeman walk. And honestly, man, I honestly believe it won't be a drop off. Now, on the field, I think Matt Olson is better defensively.
He is.
Uh, 2-time Gold Glove. He's younger. Um, as far as offensively, I think it could go either way. But you look at Matt's numbers over the previous 3 years, right?
Yeah.
He's averaging over the previous 3 years 30 home runs.
Right.
I want to say maybe 22, 23 doubles.
Hmm.
Uh, the key stat for me though is that he cut his strikeout rate
Yeah.
almost in half.
And that's big.
That's huge.
That's
So to
big.
me, I don't think it'll be a huge drop off offensively, statistically wise, but the culture of the locker room,
Yeah.
feelings around it, I'm pretty sure has shifted. And I'm not gonna say those guys feel a certain way, this way, or
Yeah.
whatever about him. But I mean, when you lose a giant
Oh yeah.
like Freddie, of course, all eyes gonna be on his replacement, and that's gonna put a lot of pressure on Matt Olson. What you think on him?
Now, the probably most hated man in Atlanta for a while was Alex Anthopoulos, the GM. He caught a lot of heat for not bringing Freddie back. But if you're not going to bring Freddie back, you got probably the best replacement that you could get. Matt Olson was arguably the second best first baseman in the league. Some people had him as number one. Like you mentioned, his numbers last year he had 39 homers. Uh, batting 277, 153 hits, 111 RBIs. He, I mean, those numbers are probably better than Freddie's for the last year, and he's better defensively and 5 years younger. So if you're going to replace a legend like that, that was a dang good start because now you're looking at the lineup of, you still got Ozzy Albies there, you got Swanson, you got Riley. Now you plugging him in at the cleanup spot. Who you gonna pitch around? So yeah, if you had to replace a legend like Freddie, you have to give the GM a little credit on that because that was actually a great replacement. That of course, it wasn't received like it should have been because feelings were still hurt by Freddie leaving. But I think Braves fans are gonna be pleased with Matt Olson.
Yeah, I think so too. It's been, and with it doesn't hurt that he's a local kid.
Correct. Yeah.
It doesn't hurt. So just on the surface, man, that's a home run acquisition
Yeah, it is.
by the GM. You know, you get a guy who produced. Not only does he produce, but he's a local kid. So
Right.
I I hope he can withstand it. You know, because again, he has some really big shoes to fill.
Correct.
Now, as I was hitting earlier, man, he would have been the biggest the the biggest acquisition until the Braves went and signed, you know, oh God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Kyle Jensen. Kill it, kill it
Kenley
Jansen.
Jansen, the Dodgers closer, former
Yeah.
closer. Yeah, man,
They
that was
signed him
huge.
to a 1 year, $16 million deal, right? And excellent signing. It bolstered, the bullpen, bolstered the pitching staff as a whole, allowed them to, move around that in that bullpen,
Mm-hmm.
got them some options. But by them doing it, and that was one of those signings that, again, along with Matt Olson, made everybody think like, you paying these guys, why
Right.
did you not pay? I mean, and that would be like the constant reminder all year. That would be the constant thing until those guys really show up and
Yeah.
blow up. And if they falter, that will always be the
Always.
thing about that. But you look at Jansen last year, man. He was superb last year.
That's all you had to do. Look at the playoffs, man. He was wow. He was lights out. I think it was one game that we got to him, but pretty much when he came into the game, that was it.
That was it. You know. So you go you go and get again another home run acquisition because they went
Hmm.
and got a guy who all the Braves Nation saw. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
not like he went and picked up some no name cat and everybody's like, wait, who you paying who? What? They saw him in action in the postseason, and then you look at his regular season, right?
Yeah.
He posted a 2.22 ERA. He converted 38 or 43 saves for the
Wow.
Dodgers. Um, Over his career, he's a three-time All
Mm.
Star who has 350 career saves, and this is a killer for me. Last year, he posted a 0.65 ERA over his final 27 regular season appearances. And then,
Wow.
and then he worked 7 scoreless innings in the postseason. Ain't much more you can ask for from your closer, bro.
Now, actually, Jansen is like the best in the business, and to get him because the Dodgers were kind of holding off on not signing him because they was waiting on Freddie to come, see what Freddie was going to do. But the Braves kind of snuck in and got that one over on him, which I'm glad they did. But if you watch the postseason, especially the Braves bullpen were the unsung heroes. They came through, but it wasn't without some hiccups along the way. I mean, you had Luke Jackson that, if you was a Brave fan, that scared the hell out of you when he came up there. Then you had Will Smith, he was the closer, but he was shaky too at times. So now you get those guys in the setup role, and you got Jansen as the closer. Man,
Right. So you go and get the best first baseman in the league, arguably.
Right.
Okay. You go and get arguably the best closer in the league, right? And you do that and you add other little other little pieces, here and there.
Hmm.
Um another good signing is they brought back Eddie
Eddie
Rosario,
Rosario, yeah.
2-year, $18 million deal.
Right.
And after what he did last year, honestly, that's light work as far as money. If you look at it, right? So let's look at what Eddie did last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he came over from Cleveland
Hmm.
and he played well in the regular season, but the postseason is
Oh
where
yeah.
he was just a whole nother person, dog.
He won the Dodgers series.
Right. He won that series. He batted uh and I'm talking the whole postseason. He batted 383
Wow.
in 16 games. But the kicker is he batted 560
Phew.
with 3 home runs in the NLCS.
Oh yeah.
And he won, MVP.
Mm.
So they brought him back,
Right.
and that another huge signing. They lost Jock Peterson.
Yeah.
They lost Freeman. They
Yeah.
lost Solar.
Yep.
But to get to lose those guys, but then to get these guys that you just got,
Yeah.
while still waiting on Ronald Acuna to come back. That says a lot with the moves they made, man. Like hats off to that front office.
That is the definition of how you reload, to be honest with you. Because if you think about all the people you mentioned and how good they were, Ronald Acuna was not even there for the postseason. So you got to think about you adding him back, and he's arguably the MVP of the league when healthy. So you add him to Ozuna. He had the domestic charges and all that's behind him now. He's probably going to be your everyday DH. Another sneaky person that people forgot about that was good was Adam Duvall that plays out in the right or left field. So
Yep.
you looking at an outfield of Rosario, Acuna, Duvall, and Osuna as the DH, or platooning with him, and then of course who the infield is. So I mean, it's the Braves are reloaded and arguably could be maybe better than they were last year.
And that's the question that y'all see right there on the screen. Are the Braves better this season?
I think you can make a case that they are because, like I said, Osuna's coming back, and his bat was hot before he got into the legal trouble that he had, and
Right.
then you
His
got
domestic situation.
Mike Soroka that had some, oh man, awful luck on the mound, but once he get right, he's the ace of the staff. Although Fareed may have something to say about that, but Soroka was the ace. So you got him, you got the other young pitchers that's coming along. Charlie Martin was the veteran that was bagging it up. I, TK, I think they actually can be better. I really do.
I'm gonna say on paper they are.
Yeah, no doubt.
On paper, they gave up some very high quality kids to get Matt Olson.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not like all of them was gonna play
No.
this year anyway.
No.
So like I've never been one to cry over spilled milk, so to speak, when it comes to prospects,
Right.
especially when you can trade those prospects for something that you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
something is proven. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
when you got a proven commodity. So I don't really just trip over those. But again, you look at what they did on paper,
Mhm.
um, and especially the way they strengthened that pitching staff and that bullpen. Another name that I forgot to mention, uh, they brought in Colin McHugh.
Yeah,
What was it? 2-year
that's
deal,
big.
guaranteed 10 million. I think he will be a very strong addition, to the pitching staff.
Oh
Matter
yeah.
of fact, if you look at his numbers, he has been consistently good in the bullpen, no matter where he's pitched.
Right. That's true.
Um, since 2018, his ERA is 2.11. Again, that's no matter where he's pitched. And the good thing about that is what's amazing about that number is
Hmm.
it is the second lowest number of any major league baseball reliever who has thrown at least 100 innings during the last 3 years that he's pitched.
Wow. I
So
mean,
you got that, and again, and then they brought another addition that just slid in under the radar. You was talking about Rosario and the outfielders and Acuna and I'm sorry, Ozuna,
hmm,
uh, Alex Dickerson.
yeah.
They brought him in. He's on the 40. So you look at what he did last year. He what is that? I don't know what that was. Uh he it's a $1 million, I
Yeah.
believe, guaranteed contract. Um he had a yeah, that sound bite threw me off. I don't know where that came from. But he played in 111 games for the not the Dodgers, the Giants last year.
Hmm.
13 homers. Um, and that was his second consecutive season where he's hit double digit home runs. So he's giving you an extra bat.
Oh yeah.
He's giving you a productive player who can spell someone.
Correct.
Safeguard against injury. Somebody who can. If you got Duval, somebody go in the slump, somebody get hurt out a couple weeks, whatever. You got a good utility player who can step right up
Right.
and give you something. You're
Yeah.
not just throwing them out there hoping it stick. You got somebody who can actually give you something. So
Yeah, and that's why I say you can make the argument that the Braves are actually, like you said, definitely better on paper, but it's going to take a little time to gel because Freddie not being in that locker room and everything. They're going to get used to Olsen, but they got the potential to actually be better. You say the rankings have them ranked as the fourth best lineup right now.
okay, so since you brought that up, we can get into that, right?
Okay.
So I don't know if you folks have seen it, but today I saw it today on MLB.com, right?
Hmm.
Okay, it came out yesterday. It's dated for the 27th. But they ranked the most loaded lineups in Major League Baseball, right? I don't know. Have you seen this yet?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay. So off top, number one
Oh yeah.
is the Dodgers, and you really can't argue against that, right? So what they did, folks, they did projected lineups,
Hmm.
and I'm only do the top five, you know, but
That's all you need to do.
yeah, that's all. So
Jeez.
number one, they had the Dodgers, and they got Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Trey
Mm.
Turner, Max Muncy, Will Smith, Justin Turner, Cody Bellinger, Chris Taylor, AJ Pollock. Okay,
It's not a weakness on that.
it's not. And while I'm looking at it, just and you alluded to it earlier, the DH being now in both leagues is a game changer. When you got teams who already putting up runs,
Hmm.
got that extra pop coming in. You got basically all nine players who can hit. Pitchers, you got a handful who could hit.
Yeah.
But pitchers you usually looking at
Oh yeah.
squeeze bunts and sack flies in the infield or
Correct.
some crazy like that. So having that extra pop will do wonders for major league scoring in the National League.
Ooh, man, that lineup is something.
Yeah, they line up something. Then you got the Blue Jays,
Yeah.
with George Springer, Bo Bichette, Dante's Kid,
Oh yeah, they
Vlad,
got some
Guerrero
power
Jr.
bats over there.
Yeah, they got some. Man, they got a bunch of former players' kids. They got BJO's kid, Dante Bichette's kid, Vlad's kid.
Yeah, Vlad, yeah.
All of them was hitters. All they batters were straight hitters, man.
Well, they got it from him, that's for sure.
Yeah, they got the White Sox third with
Yeah,
you got Tim Anderson, Johan Moncada, Jose Abreu,
yeah, that's a good lineup.
Elo Jimenez. They got they got some hitters. And then you look at number 4.
Oh yeah.
You got the Atlanta Braves. And this is the projected lineup
Hmm.
MLB had. So I'm gonna give you that. Starting off in leading off, you got Eddie Rosario playing left. You got Dansby Swanson playing short, bat second. Matt Olson batting third at first. Marcel Ozuna batting fourth, DHing. Austin Riley at third, batting fifth. Ozzy Albies at second, batting sixth. Adam Duvall playing center field, batting seventh. Travis D'Arnaud, catcher at eight. And the new signee, Alex Dickerson, batting
Wow.
cleanup at nine.
That's not bad, man. When you actually think about you remember Riley last year was actually considered for MVP. His numbers were so good and he probably really should have won it. But if you got him batting fifth in your lineup, that's actually a pretty good lineup. So is Albis. Albis was arguably one of the best second basemen in the league, and he's batting
Right.
sixth. So that's a pretty powerful lineup in itself. So
And you again, notice I didn't say Ronald Acuna
no,
Jr.
you didn't.
So you you looking at this, and
Mm.
honestly, if he was healthy, I think they move up a spot or two.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
think they move up a spot or two. And I don't think they take over one with the Dodgers.
No, that no.
That lineup's too tough. But you could argue I take them over the White Sox with
Oh yeah,
Acuna.
definitely.
You could argue with them with the Blue Jays as well.
Because they're young. The Braves, got players and been there. They won it all. So yeah, I could see definitely see the Braves sliding in at second, but that Dodgers lineup is a monster.
Yeah. So, that's
Mm.
that's gonna be tough. Oh, and number 5, the New York Yankees.
Oh yeah, they gonna
Uh
pay for their team
Rizzo,
always.
Judge, Joey Gallo, Giancarlo Stanton, Josh Donaldson, so on and so forth. I'm
High
not a Yankee.
strikeout rate on that team.
Yeah, yeah. I could care less about the Yankees.
Yeah,
I'm just being real. So let me ask you this. Since we talking about the lineups
right.
and who's better. Um, who do you think will be the biggest X factor for this season?
Hmm. Biggest X factor for this season is probably gonna be really the thing about it. It's gonna be what Acuna can do. Is he gonna return to the Acuna he was pre-injury? Is he gonna be a little slowed down a little bit? Because even if he slowed down a little bit, that's still a dang good one. But I think it hinges on what he does if the Braves, how far they go in the postseason, and what they can do. Because like we mentioned, you got a great lineup already, and adding him back, if we can get that same Acuna before, yeah, that's the X factor for me. The health of Acuna.
Yeah, I I can agree with that, and I would I would say that, but I would venture to add Marcel Ozuna
Oh, yeah,
and
that's a good
how
one too.
how he because you look at him, he's dealing with coming off an injury.
Right.
He's also dealing with coming back from that retroactive
Yeah.
suspension with his whole legal,
Yeah.
domestic situation. So how is he gonna bounce back? How is he gonna fare, when he comes back?
That's a good one too. That's a good X factor because right now, with the outfielders we have, I'm thinking he will probably be more of the DH. I mean, he's
Right.
a decent outfielder for his right field, but he's not a center fielder, not really good left. But I'm thinking he would be the DH. Adam Duvall is a better fielder than he is. But yeah, where's his head? You're right.
Exactly. Like where if all he's really doing is hitting, then you need him to be focused. You need him to be ready. Because guys could struggle at the plate and make up for it in the field and
Oh yeah.
justify them still being in the lineup.
Yes, sir.
But as a DH, if your head is not there, your thinking is somewhere else, and you struggling mightily at the plate, there's nowhere else for you to redeem yourself. So
Mm.
you got to be ready. And don't get me wrong, everybody has ebbs and flows. It's a long season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like me and you will have our ebbs and
Yep.
flows
Ebb and flow. Right.
with the episodes that we're doing where some of them are just lively and just on point, and some of them we're like just trying to make it through. It's just the nature of a baseball season because it's so
Right.
long,
You're right.
you know. So yeah, man, he's my he's
That's a
my
good
walk.
one. That's a good
So
one.
I'm really hoping he pans out. So we got everybody back. Well, not everybody back. We got baseball back,
Yeah.
um, and we're into spring training games. Um, and thus far, man, the Braves looking pretty good, man.
Yeah. Austin Riley picked up right where he left off at the end of the season. He had two homers in the game the other day. Dansby's looking good out there. Albies. I mean, everybody seemed like they picked up where they left off. It's just how these new additions. Olson is actually looking pretty good too. He's been consistent at the plate.
Yeah, and like right now, the Braves are sitting at 6-2.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're 6-2. Thus far in spring training. Now, what's what's good about them is they're not they're not scoring a bunch of runs,
Right.
but they're not giving up a bunch of runs. You
That's
know,
really that's really good.
yeah, they, like right now, I'm looking at I'm looking at the Baltimore Orioles. Right,
Right.
so far they've given up 69 runs.
Wow. In spring training.
Yeah, Braves have
Phew.
given up half of that.
Phew,
You
that's a
know,
lot.
uh, plus they're 5-0 at home. So there's a lot to be very optimistic
Oh yeah.
about with this team, man. And you know, I'm really looking forward to fleshing this thing out with you, man,
Oh
throughout
yes,
this whole
sir.
season. You know,
Every week we gonna be here ready to roll. So you want good Braves baseball talk? You got it right here.
yeah, we gonna be right here, man. So we got how many more games we got left? Spring training. Let me look.
It's not a whole lot. Should be getting ready to wrap up here shortly.
Yeah, because we got season kick off on the seventh, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
the seven that kicks off.
So we have about 9 days, 10 days maybe before the
Yeah.
season kick off. So
Yeah, and they have a couple of rest days in there too. So
right, right. So on our next episode, man, we'll wrap up the spring training games
right,
as well as we'll talk about the upcoming regular season games. We open it up against the Cincinnati Reds. Um, I'm looking forward to that. I've never really liked the Reds. It's cause of Mars shot for
oh yeah,
obvious.
yeah,
Uh, you know, I like seeing Griffey. I hated he was hurt his basically his whole Reds career.
yeah. The whole Reds, yeah, tenure he was hurt.
But yeah, we opened up the season with the Reds, and I'm looking forward to that. Speaking of looking forward, man, what's the one thing you're looking forward to the most this season?
I'm actually looking forward the pitching staff because like I said, we had a lot of injuries last year with Soroka getting hurt, and we didn't never settle that fifth spot. And then we found Noah, and he got mad and punched the wall and hurt his hand. So I mean, I'm just looking at consistency out the pitching staff because Max Fareed really stepped up last year. and
Right.
is arguably the ace of the crew now. And you got Charlie Morton, that steady veteran that came in. So I'm looking at if Soroka can get back and how the pitching staff is going to be, because the bullpen seems to have shaped up really nicely. So if we can get 6 to 7 quality innings out of our starters every game, we should be fine.
I totally agree with that. Um, man, I'm gonna go the other way. I'm looking forward to seeing the offense.
Mm.
Especially when Acuna gets back.
Oh yeah.
Uh, who I saw he was like ahead of schedule.
Hmm.
I don't think they're gonna
They
rush him back.
shouldn't.
They shouldn't because
Mm-mm.
they got the players they got. Um, and I don't think it'll be. I think it'd be in his best interest for them to ease him in and make sure he's 100% because again, it's a long season.
Right.
Season's not won in the first 40 games. Now it could be lost if you go like 10 and 30, but it's not won in the first 40, man. So
Right.
I'm definitely looking forward to the offense. You match that offense with what I believe will be a dynamic pitcher staff,
Oh,
and on paper, man, they look like they got the potential to go back to back.
I think so. I really do. I'm not now. That's not a homer talk. That I'm just a Braves fan, so I'm gonna say that I actually really do think they have the potential to go back, but that road will more than likely go through the Dodgers, as it always
Right,
does. You're not
right.
getting through the NL without playing the Dodgers. As you know, they spanked us a couple years in a row, and we finally
Yep.
returned the favor this year. So
Yeah. So and let me just say this, folks, because Jermaine, you just said you're not a homer. One thing I can guarantee y'all is that you will get 100% transparency and honesty from both of us.
oh yeah.
We won't agree with everything that they do. Hell, we won't agree with each other, you know.
That's
But
a good thing though.
yeah, yeah. Like this will not be a let's go Braves echo chamber of, everything is wonderful, nothing is wrong. Like you won't get that. Like the ups and downs, we will talk about them. The ins
Right.
and outs, we will talk about them. You know, I look forward to disagreeing with him because I know that whatever he's saying, he believes in what he's saying, and it will be based in fact. It will
Right.
be based in stats, and he'll get the same from me. So y'all, I'm telling you, y'all in for a real treat, man.
Yes,
And
sir. Yes, sir.
we looking forward to doing this. Once we really get into it, we'll start going live,
Yep.
where you guys can interact directly with us. And we want to start bringing fans on with us. Like come and talk with us, and you have a question, you can come in, say your piece, and we talk about it. Argue about it or whatever. But I mean, it'll be done with love and respect.
Yeah.
The Braves way. So again, we looking forward to it, man. I'm glad we decided to do this.
Yes, sir.
Uh, and I don't think it's anybody better than this man as far as I know, as far as knowing the Braves, the ins and outs, as this man here. So it's gonna be a good one,
Appreciate that. Yes, sir. It's gonna be good. I'm actually looking forward to it, and just tell everybody that this Braves fans, even if you're not a Braves fan, tune in, because we
man. Yeah,
got something for you. We're gonna, like you say, we're gonna be transparent about it, but we'll run down other big stories in ML as well. But you know, I
exactly.
think y'all gonna like it. I really do.
Yeah, and with us being Mississippians, of course we'll have a little Braves talk from the double A club.
Oh yeah,
We gonna touch it all, man. Demotions, promotions, all of that.
all of it,
Prospects, all of it.
all of it. Yes,
Like
sir.
like Lex Luger, we gonna be the total package.
I like that.
Yeah. We the Lex Luger of baseball podcast. We the total package, you know. Uh anything you wanna say before we get out of here, JP?
Nah, man, just happy to be here, ready to get this season started. We're gonna be here for all 162 of them. So
Plus
giving
the
our
playoff.
thoughts, analysis, everything. So we ready to roll. We looking to go back to the postseason again, and we like y'all to stay with us, man. We gonna grow this thing.
Oh yeah. Only thing I have, man, again, salute and shout out to Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, yeah,
Thanks for all the memories.
yeah,
Thanks for handling everything with class, dignity, and respect. My personal feeling is you deserved a hell of a lot better than what they gave you.
yeah.
Uh, and that's a hill I'm willing to die on. But I'm glad you got your money. I hate it couldn't have been with us. But you know, and with him leaving, I'll say this: he left probably in the best way he could leave.
Yeah, you're
Right?
right.
His last at bat was a home run,
Right.
and his last play
Was the
was
final out.
catching the final out in the World Series. Like it gets no better than that.
Yeah, if you got to leave, that's the storybook way to leave, you know.
Oh
And
yeah,
and like you said, when he come back, man, even with the Dodgers, he gonna be cheered. He gonna get the loudest ovation out of anybody because
yeah,
he deserves that. And nobody hates Freddie. You know, everybody
yeah.
is gonna be seeing him come back. Now all them other 8 Dodgers is gonna get booed, but
Oh yeah.
but
We
Freddie,
gonna we gonna boo the blue off their ass.
right?
But Freddie, he's gonna get the love and respect that he earned and he deserved.
Yeah, but I'm gonna just say this, TK. We need to stick with y'all. Need to stick with us. Tune in weekly. Hey, who knows? We may even do a show live from the Braves Stadium one day. That's not out the question.
Yeah, that's something I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, so
And the
you
only way
never
we
know.
gonna get there, the only way we gonna get there is with you guys rocking with us heavy, supporting us, and putting us
Right.
out there. So let's do this together, y'all. Let's build
Yes,
it
sir.
together like Home Depot. So, with all that being said, this has been episode 1, opening day of the Chop Shop podcast. On behalf of my guy, my boy, Mr. Jermaine JP Powell, I am Tyrus TK Kennedy. This has been the Chop Shop podcast, and we looking forward to rocking and chopping with y'all every week. So stay
Yes,
tuned.
sir.
You gonna love it. I
Y'all
guarantee.
be easy.